Hello guys and girls, and welcome to this video. Today I would like to introduce you to Austria's main dog lobbying association, which is called Austria Loves Dogs. This association seems funded and run by the Austrian Association of Cynologists. A cynologist being a dog expert. By the way, I actually had to look up how to pronounce cynologist in English, and apparently it's pronounced like cynicism. Well, how surprising is that? We have already seen and talked a lot about these so-called experts, but there are enough videos about their fails and preposterous claims, so anybody can look those up if needed. I also wonder what the training requirements would be to call oneself a cynologist. It's probably a training course offered by dog nutters for other dog nutters. So I severely doubt the seriousness of those educational programs. Anyway, back to this lovely doggy club. I had never heard of this association until I saw the billboards they recently put up. Here you see one of them. There are a few different variations of this, all with the title Ohne Hund ist alles doof, which translates approximately to Without dogs, everything sucks. I don't know about you, but I find this statement rather idiotic, to be honest. On the one hand, it does have a bit of a childish side to it. In German, as well as in English, I would say, it sounds like a child having a tantrum, yelling and screaming about how everything sucks, boo-hoo. I can't help the impression that it is deliberately formulated in a dumbed-down kind of language to appeal to people who are a bit, well, dumb, perhaps. Or at least this association seems to think so. Second point about this statement is that its content is rather idiotic if you think about it. It's one of those blanket statements that might sound good when you hear them, but when you think about it, you realize they're totally hollow and actually mean nothing. What is that supposed to mean anyway? Everything sucks. I mean, really everything? What about the millions of people who enjoy their lives just as much, or even more, without some mutt? Perhaps it wants to imply that somehow those poor idiots without a fur baby are missing out on so much. Yeah, right. Such a statement sounds like something that somebody in a cult would actually say. I mean, if you ask any member of Scientology, they would surely say, of course, everybody should join Scientology, hell yeah. Worth mentioning is that all of those placards are making fun of other animals and pets, while implying that dogs are somehow superior to all of them. Here, for instance, you see a fake picture of a police guinea pig. Others show a supposed pet lobster, a rescue sloth, or here a hunting turtle. The message being that only dogs can do all this. But haha, look how absurd it would be to put another animal in that place. Haha, how funny indeed. What irks me about this approach is that I find it rather vile to make fun of other animals just to elevate the one that you want to promote. I mean, if your favorite is so superior and has so many qualities, then why don't you just lay out those qualities and sell your product, so to speak, instead of pettily and nastily putting down the supposed competition? I find it a rather dislikable character trait to act in such a way. Now, there are many content creators in our space who have already talked a million times about this nonsense regarding the supposed indispensability of dogs, so I don't want to repeat all that here. But in short, police dogs are vastly overrated, and despite tons of training, often not much more than loose cannons that often attack their handlers. The only country where police are obsessed with them is the United States. Most other countries don't bother too much with them because the costs of those dogs outweigh their benefits by far. The failure rate of drug and explosive sniffing dogs is massive. There are already tons of technical devices available that do a far superior job in detecting drugs or explosives. Those devices don't need training, they have an accuracy rate of usually above 99% and cost a fraction. And well, we all know how service dogs are blown out of proportion. The only people where service dogs would make sense are for visually impaired people, and depending on the country, the vast majority of them don't have and don't need one. In the US, only 5% of visually impaired people actually have a guide dog. And that number does not come from an anti-dog source, but I took it from a dog promoting website. For anybody who would like to dive a bit deeper into these topics, I put some links in the video description for all these points. Now, to say something positive, this association also has articles about responsible breeding and about how dogs are not Christmas presents. So at least I give them that as a plus. Especially now after Christmas, there'll be a lot of mutts that'll be dumped somewhere because some idiot thought it'd be a great idea to give one as a gift. And then years later, we can all donate money to save the poor stray dogs, well, boo-hoo. However, despite one or two positive approaches by this association, looking at their website, it is obvious that its main objective is to advance the brain-dead worship of dogs and to tell everybody that you should definitely get one too, they're awesome. If they really wanted to improve a dog's reputation in the broader public, they should first and foremost call the dog owners to stick to the rules and to not get on everybody's nerves. Meaning, stop the obnoxious and pointless barking, keep your mutts to yourselves, leash them, muzzle them, and pick up their shit. All these things are actually required by law, but mostly ignored everywhere. If dog owners stuck to the rules, that would already do a ton of good to make them more accepted. But we all know that this is never going to happen. Alright, so much about this lovely mutt lobby. Remember guys, stay away from dogs, they're all assholes. You take care now, happy 2025, and goodbye.